when people think about the Beatles, think about really important, groups that, changed the way we think. People think about the Black Panthers. People think about Heaven's Gate. The New York Yankees. People think about Robotron9000, a racing guild. Robotron9000 is a racing guild. It's a long-distance running team of cyborgs sent from the future.
Elite racing guilds, very, very selective. There's very few people that get in. It's a lot like a fraternity, but less gay.
Right now we only have 2 people, but we're hoping to expand here going into 2011.
Two's a pretty powerful number, It's the only even prime, and it's also the smallest prime. With Brandon and I, it's a very close-knit experience.
Team camp with me and Brookman was a little strange. We got to know each other pretty well.
So with a large team, there's a lot of benefits in that, but people don't realize the benefits in a smaller group. Like with Brandon and I, we're roommates, so every morning we wake up, we have breakfast, we go running together, we eat together, sleep together.
It's a 2-man domestic partnership.
It's difficult being a runner in a big city. A lot of people judge you for what you wear. I like to go running in half tights or short shorts, stuff like that, and a lot of people will be like, "Hey, you're gay," because I'm of what I'm wearing. But I'm not gay because I'm not the one looking at somebody else's junk. They are, and that's pretty gay to look at somebody else's junk.
Robotron9000 started when me and my friend Brookman, we realized that we both like to run a lot, and we're both really passionate about running, and we both didn't have teams to run on, so we thought we would just get together and start training together and practice being robots, going around and killing people. I'm a stabbing robot.
We were on the MIT robotics team, and eventually we got around to creating, killer robotic runners, and that's pretty much what we are, actually. Our diets consist of, a lot of oil and nuts and bolts, things like that. People ask me, well, do you use synthetic oil?
My favorite kind of robot is it's a robot that has its feet can hover. Its feet are little mini hovercrafts.
So a lot of people talk about goals and what's Robotron's goal, and what we're really about is racing. That's our main focus in our training, and everything that we do is really geared toward our races. We want to race well, we want to race all the time. We just really like to race, and we're pretty religious about that. There's people that are called Catholics and Baptists and Buddhists, and we could probably be called racists.
I think the greatest distance coach of all time has to be Brookman Holmes. I've been coached by Bob Williams, I've been coached by Matt Burrow, I've been coached by Mike Hickey, all these great coaches, but although Brookman's like 21 or something, he has a lot of experience with things of robotic nature. You know, I didn't know how to run like a robot until I met him, and you know, he showed me these comic books and showed me, you know, true running form. I mean, like, you know, El Garouge and Haile Gebrselassie, they have a really nice running form, but I mean, none of them is as robotic as, you know, some of the runners that I saw in Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo.
So my training philosophy is pretty complex. In fact, I really like to involve complex numbers in our training. You know, like imaginary numbers, like the number I. So I'll be like, hey Brandon, today you're gonna have to do a 200 plus 2I. So, you know, it's like a 200, and then he has to run 2 laps in his head. You know, it's imaginary. It's all about mental training. You know, it's all-purpose training. It's not just training his legs. It's also training his mind.
Our training methods are a little bit unorthodox. One of my favorite workouts is the pi workout, where it's all based off of pi. So it's like you do a 300, a 100, a 400, and it just goes on and on. And you know, if you can get to the end of that workout, you can pretty much beat anybody ever. I do a lot of jump roping. I like the high knee jump roping. It's a good one.
What I'll do is I'll be like, all right, Brandon, you're gonna run, square root 2 laps. And so while he's running, he has to figure out how many laps that is. And if he gets it wrong, then he has to do it again until, you know, he does get the correct amount of laps in.
So one of my favorite workouts that we do is we focus on one leg at a time. So like maybe say on Monday, all of my running will be on my left leg so that my right leg can rest. And then on Tuesday, all of my running's on my right leg so that my left leg can rest. So that way, you know, even though each leg is doing twice the work, when we use both of our legs at the same time, it ends up being that we're twice as fast. We do a lot of like high mileage, and when I say high mileage, I mean that we get really high and we just run. I do a lot of jazzercise. I feel that really helps with my speed. You know, I'm really gearing up for, you know, the 1500 and the 800 this year, and so I do a lot of Tae Bo and jazzercise. You know, aside from, you know, Brookman Holmes being my favorite coach, Billy Blanks is also really good. He's a great coach. I also do a lot of work on the Gazelle. I find that that's a great workout.
There's a lot of techniques that athletes use to get into the zone, and Brandon and I use the porn technique a lot.
My training's going really well. I'm watching a lot of porn, and you know, trying to work on my stamina. Also, sometimes I'll just do intervals between watching porn and running. So I'll do a 400 all out, then, you know, run back inside and watch some porn, then run back outside and do another interval. But sometimes if I want to save time, I'll just bring the laptop out to the field. That way I can decrease my rest time, so I can work on my lactate threshold. The exercise, you know, with the right hand, you exercise with the left hand. Just so you just mix it all up. It's all about muscle confusion.
As an athlete, there's a lot of extras you have to put in to your sport to be a well-rounded athlete. Like, as a runner, you know, there's other things you can do to become a better runner. So. Strengthening exercises for our lower body, and we also do things to recover faster. Like we do things like foam rolling and stretching and. So we spend a lot of time, you know, using our exercise ball and our foam roller, kind of develop almost a relationship. I would say with them. I mean, yeah, they're not real, but you know, when you spend that much time with something, you know, you develop like a sense of fondness for it. One of the tools we use for rehab is the stick, and it's basically like a long shaft with beads on it. Those things, you know, kind of break down the scar tissue or something like that to help you recover faster, to be a better athlete.
My goals for this season as a part of Robotron9000, a racing guild, I'd really like to run fast in the 1500. I want to run like 346-ish. Also, I just want to meet a lot of women and get to know them really well.
I would have to say Sharon Valeri from Battlestar Galactica would be my dream girl. You know, she has a lot of things going for her. She's, you know, a Cylon, which is a cybernetic life form. Pretty hot right there. So for the rules of Robotron, I gave it something that's pretty easy to remember. I took some pretty awesome inspirational movies and I turned them into rules. So rule number 1 is never back down, and you know that translates to like never back down on the track. Rule number 2 is bring it on. You know, every time you're working out or racing, it's, you know, bring it on. I wanna see the best you got. Rule number 3 is stomp the yard. So you know, every time you step on that track, be prepared to stomp the yard with the competition. Rule number 4 is too fast, too furious. Brandon and I are too fast and too furious. Rule number 5, step up 3D.
A lot of people think, you know, it's just you two guys, like you're not on a team. But then I'm like, hey, you're stupid.